Welcome
to Sleep Drunk, where I actually made show notes.
Crazy.
Yep. So, anyway, this episode we're going to be talking about something kind of weird, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, it's the type of thing where...
Unless you're Alavi, you probably won't get to do it.
Hey, you are sort of.
Sort of.
So we're talking about pen and paper, and you might be wondering why talk about pen and paper in this digital age of e-technology where the information superhighway connects the Internet of Things to blockchain, and
everybody can synergize in the cloud together.
With the cloud, using software, software engineering,
Cloud Daddy is
blockchain, Bitcoin,
sticking his big cloud dick in me. What?
Cryptocurrency.
Did you guys make sure to follow us on
digital information technology? God damn it. Digital information technology. So yes, why use pen and paper? Well,
okay. Most people do.
Yeah,
at least for like notes, or there's some reason why they do.
Well, I feel like
frequently
the philosophy is for a lot of people shifting away. Like computer-based notes is a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
the first and foremost thing with notes is that you retain it better.
Yes, when you write.
You could probably still offset by taking it with a tablet, as I do.
Yes, but I think the other big benefit for me of taking notes on pen and paper is that it separates me from like my other stuff, like on my computer.
Fair. And I've found that. Well, I guess I can get into it later. Mm-hmm. You go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, so like I feel like I get distracted easily when I have my computer. I just do. It's how I am, and so I feel like if I can get that out of the way. And just have, like, it puts me fully in the class I'm working at. And it's like, I'm paying good money for that class. I want to get everything out of it. Yeah. So I think it's nice. I mean, there are some classes where you kind of need to have a computer, like statistics, computer science.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you need to, and like there's no way around that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think it's nice to have a separate environment for things which I think will come up again later. I think Alex was leading into that, I think.
But, yeah, when I take my notes on my computer, I just really hate system notifications, and I sometimes turn them back one over break, but a lot of times I forget, and I don't really miss them. So I always have Windows's focus assist setting on, so they show like a little light on my taskbar, but it doesn't distract me, and all I'm doing is focusing on writing my notes.
Yeah.
And as far as like, I used to, honestly, until very recently, I've been using TickTick for kind of just general keeping track of myself and making sure I remember to do everything. But I find that using TickTick and having that paired with my devices and, being in my browser or on my phone where all my notifications
in the network
is just distracting, and it just it didn't seem to work too well. But taking that in a little pocket notebook,
which I think we'll get to in a second. I'm gonna cut you off just so we can complete another.
It helps. All I'm saying is
we'll get back
paper
in
is a better alternative I found for.
We'll get back there. But I just want to mention some of the other reasons real quick, just to have them out of the way so we don't start disjointed. But I think another nice thing, besides of course organization and the various methods, is I just like the feeling of writing with a nice pen on like good paper. I think it just feels nice.
You get that feedback,
Yeah.
And like
we'll get there.
Analog.
Yeah. But so, on the topic of pocket notebooks, this is something I've been doing for a while, I think for almost a year and a half now, and it's something that you were, for the record, somewhat resistant to until very recently. So I want to see because I think you guys already know my take on this kind of stuff, on like pocket notebooks from one of our really early episodes.
Well, okay, my main reason was that I didn't want anything else in my pockets. I carry a lot of stuff in my pockets. As you remember from the EDC episode, I keep a lot of stuff on my person at all times. And my pocket notebook has sort of been a big piece. I tried to put it in my empty left hip pocket, but I just don't like it there. Even though I've always got my wallet in my other hip pocket, and I never really had an issue with it. I just don't like it in the other hip pocket. So I've just been putting it behind my phone in my right front pocket, and it's working well enough.
And what notebook do you have?
I have the Moleskine... just regular leather cover, but it's not the hardback pocket size one. The softcover leatherback.
It's ruled.
And I have the ruled one. If I were to get it again, I'd try to get the one with dots.
Yes.
Because I feel like that would be the most useful to me, but they didn't have it, and it isn't really a big deal at all. And honestly, the ruled has been more useful than maybe even the dots would be for my use case. Because I don't take like actual notes or draw any diagrams or anything in my book It's more of just a way to keep track of my life and what I have to do and write down little things that I have to remember.
So I think in my case, I used to carry one of those. I carried the unlined version because I liked the unlined. Like, I think I don't like ruled. For starters, I like send a pocket notebook because I want to be able to draw things if I have to. Like, every now and then I'll find, like, either A, I just want to doodle, and, like, it's nice to just have paper to doodle on because it helps me focus. And also, I think it's just nice to be able to, like, draw diagrams, cut things out how you want to. I think dots really is the happy medium between the two. Like, there's enough structure where you can write neatly, but if you still need to, like, diagram, you still need to do stuff, you can do that. But so I switched away from the, like, softcover leather ones to the Moleskine Cashier's edition, I believe. Like, they're the thin paper ones. And there's two main reasons for this. One, I lose things, like I just do, and I've acknowledged that I just lose things, and I've yet to finish one of the leather Moleskine notebooks before losing it. And so the paper ones are much thinner. They're like a third the amount of paper, and you get 3 of them in one pack. And I found that they're less bulky, which I think is always a plus. Like, I don't even notice it's there. And then also, it is, if I lose it, I lose a lot less stuff proportionally. And, like, I do like to keep things, like, have a record to look back. Like, let's say, like, on one day's task list, if I miss something, I can go back and port that forward.
Yeah.
So, I use the Moleskine's Cashier in Unruled. I have a ruled version as well, because I'm a dumbass. And hasty, and just bought one. But I like them, but I think you guys already know my philosophy on pocket notebooks is that I like them. I think they're useful. They're good to have. But something I've been doing recently, which I'm very happy I've started doing, is I've started doing daily journaling since I got back to the States. So I landed like the 20th or 19th of January, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's been almost 3 weeks. And I will say I really, really enjoy doing it, and I use the theme system journal made by Cortex brand, sub-brand of the Cortex podcast, and I've been waiting to talk about this. I've been waiting to talk about this for a moment. I'm going to talk about my yearly theme because it matters for this, and I've been wanting to talk about this, but for the sake of time, we're going to say, if you don't know what a yearly theme is, in the show notes, there's a link to a video by CGP Grey. It's 5 minutes. Pause now, not later. Not after that, right now. Pause this, watch that video, and come back, because I don't want to explain the idea of yearly themes, because Gray does it a lot better than me. And it's a really abstract, weird topic. So go to that video, watch it, and come back. I'm going to do one of those things where, like, content creators pause, and, like, they tell you to go watch a thing, like, okay, welcome back. So, okay, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the video.
We know you didn't watch it, you little
Probably not. But, so my yearly theme is, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, so like really, gonna crack on with it. My yearly theme is the year of balance and assimilation. Mostly balance, a little bit of assimilation. The reasoning behind it, I'm gonna keep it brief, is that like, my last couple of years have been a lot about like, branching out and expanding like what I do and trying new things. And I feel like in the process, like, I just kind of feel like out of whack. And so the whole idea of the year is just kind of like, get, back in touch with myself, work on my health, my mental health, just like kind of rekindle my old hobbies, do the whole work-life balance thing that everyone keeps talking about for some reason. I know why. But so that's kind of been what I've been doing. And so as part of that was I got the Theme System Journal, which is a very nice book. It's a very nice notebook.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It feels nice.
Feels very premium, sits very flat, very nice paper. It's a good quality product. But I think one of the reasons I bought it was because when I was in India, and this is kind of the impetus for this segment, I was at a bookstore and saw a fountain pen for a very low price. And a fountain pen was something I was like, it's in a list of things I've been at the cusp of buying for a very long time. It's like, I really want one, but it's just too expensive to justify it for me. Like, another example is like a watch winder. I've been to get a watch winder for a while, but it's like, it's just enough where it's like, is it really worth it? I don't really need it, but I saw a fountain pen for a really good price, and so I picked one up. It's a Parker Frontier, and it's actually discontinued in the US. I think it was re-released for the like Asian market. And that's kind of what got me down this path, because I also bought a Parker Vector calligraphy set with calligraphy fountain pens, and that just threw me down a rabbit hole. Like, it just did. Next thing you know, I'm binge watching Goulet pens. I'm looking at different kinds of ink, thinking about shimmer versus luster. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah, but what about 2.3.2.4.2? I love the show note format. It's great.
Wait, which one?
2.4.2.
Point. Okay, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to 2.3.2.4.2. That's the episode title. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole, and after coming back to the States, I wanted to get a nice broad nib pen for signing things, because it's kind of a cool thing, and also it's good from a security perspective. Is if you have a broad nib pen,
pretty unique. Yeah,
it's harder to forge. So I think why not? Might
thing
as well.
Is though, it also is not a good thing from a security perspective for checks.
That's true,
because checks, gel pens are actually the most effective, and that's Pilot G2s or really any gel pen.
Yes, which are also I carry G2s.
Yeah,
as well.
And the kind of ink that comes out of a fountain pen is actually quite easily chemical washed off, even though people don't usually do that. It's more of a Photoshop attack or something, but just a thing to think about.
But for documents, for big business documents. So I was looking around on Amazon. I kept hearing about Jinhao pens, which you think based on the name and based on the fact that they're incredibly cheap, you think are trash. I got the Jinhao X450 and I really, really like it. It's a very nice pen. It's heavy. It feeds fine.
If people are talking about it,
I think
probably might be a little merit to that.
I was thinking, okay, it's nice, but it's probably going to feel a little cheap. But no, it feels like a good quality pen. And granted, I haven't written with very high quality pens. I don't have a Pilot Vanishing Point, or I don't know, a Meisterstück. And not that I'm saying those words, I'm not I'm extending the rabbit hole. I've gone down, I've hit the bottom where the rabbit's sleeping, and I just keep going.
Just drilled right through the rabbits. They're fully just ground.
Yep, they are rabbit burgers. They are. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a really good starter pen. It was $8, and it has a nice resin case. It's a good nib. It writes nicely, and
it feels really nice to hold.
Yes, it feels premium as hell. And I'm playing with my pen, my Pilot G2. But I recommend it, and also the ink I'm using is the Pilot Iroshizuku Murasaki-Shikibu, which is a very nice purple. And I'm probably going to get a black ink soon just to have a black ink. Because,
I feel like nobody was able to copy that down. The Iroshizuku Murasaki-Shikibu.
See, things I know, because here's the thing. Murasaki-Shikibu is a really prominent author, and so I studied her work for a history class. So I just kind of know it.
Yeah, but just because you know it doesn't mean they can...
Yes, it links in the show notes. Links to everything in the show notes. Just look up Pilot Iroshizuku, or just Pilot Murasaki. Links in the show notes. You'll be fine. It'll be there. But that's the thing. It's a very nice, lavenderish color, and I like it. It looks weird, because coming out of my Jinhao, it's a lot more dense. It's a lot more saturated. My Parker feeds a lot less ink. Mm-hmm. Which I think is by virtue of the nib sizes, but also I think it's just different types of
my nib's bigger.
Damn. I mean, you actually have a fountain pen as well. And
I do. I have a relatively basic starter fountain pen. I have the Pilot Metropolitan, the standard black one. Everyone that has even thought about fountain pens has contemplated buying this one or bought it already.
I did as well.
I believe it's in my backpack actually, but yeah.
I think in the show notes,
it is a very pointy nib.
In the show notes section on our website, isn't that the pen that's in the picture?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. See, he actually got it before I did, which I found kind of funny.
Yeah, I've had it for a year now or so.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's been working fine, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Very much a workhorse pen. Good pen.
Yeah, I've gotten it kind of broken in. You can see little bits of the paint missing on it, which means that it's been weathered. It's been used. Yeah.
So I think in my case, all of my pens are solid materials. There's no paint on them. Mm-hmm. I think the Frontier is just solid steel. The Jinhao is resin, and then the Vector is just plastic. The Vector is kind of a crappy pen, but it's a calligraphy set, so it kind of makes sense. It's about the nibs, and the nibs produce I'll put a picture of some writing.
Is that the red one?
Yes, the red one.
Broad nib?
Yes, the red one. It's a calligraphy pen, and it's meant for calligraphy, and you can do cool stuff with it. I think
absolutely, it makes calligraphy rather easy. Not easy, but more approachable.
Yeah, it makes it very doable. I think because when you look at calligraphy pens in general, in the broader sense, people that actually do calligraphy, they use calligraphy dip pens because of the broadness lets them get a very nice line contrast. Just how you get serif fonts. It's a whole thing about fonts. I don't really know it, but that's something I just enjoy. I enjoy writing with it. It makes my signature look very nice. I get a nice signature with that.
It also takes you 10 hours because you can't go any more than a 1/16 of an inch per second. Otherwise, ink just doesn't come out.
Yeah, like I said, it's not meant to be a daily use pen. It's meant for like...
Imagine taking notes with that thing.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I was having trouble keeping up with my other Parker one. Like, I took it to class one day just because I wanted to empty out the converter, the ink thingy, ink holder, ink tank. It's not a tank, it's a converter. But I want to empty it out so that I could, like, put in my new ink.
Yeah, I know with the Metropolitan, I've had people making fun of me before because I was using it to take notes because I couldn't find any other pens in my backpack. But I could easily keep up.
Yeah, exactly.
The Pilot is a great workforce pen.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I think that or Jinhao is where you want to go if you want to get a fountain pen. I think that's the place to start.
Yeah, the Jinhao actually seems like a good bet.
Yeah. Not to mention if you like smoothness. Or like... Here's the weird thing is, I find that the way I write with my Jinhao, I feel like it's super smooth. And the way Alex writes with it, it's like quite scratchy and feedbacky. Which I think is just it's just an angles thing. But I find that kind of interesting.
Well, how do you hold your pen? Because I hold
it very shallow.
Okay, well, yeah, I hold mine like pretty standard.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm writing with a fountain pen, I hold it very shallow.
Mine's about like what is that, a 60 degree angle?
I might do like, with a fountain pen, like 30. I write with a super shallow angle with fountain pen.
This? It's insane.
Yeah. Maybe a 40. Alex is scraping the desk. With a tool. Which are they made? Okay, is it an Office Depot
brand? I've only been able to find them at Office Depot, but I don't know that they're necessarily an Office Depot brand.
That might just be their like main distribution partner.
But yeah, I think that's really the case. But I picked up a pack of these tubes because I always buy 4 packs and then
you lose them.
Well, I don't lose them. It's just like I either run them completely dry, or I guess I have lost them at work before people eat them because they're nicer than all the other servers' pens. But I found what is this, a 12 pack? Yeah, for a really good price. So I picked it up. It was okay. It's like 3 times the amount of pens for just under double the price.
That's very good.
So it's like why not? I picked it up, and I will never run out of tubes now. Yeah. So
see, my go-to gel pen is the Pilot G2, the go-to pen by Pilot.
That was literally made to be go-to.
That's the idea. Yeah. That's what I use. I think everyone knows G2s. Like it's the default gel pen. I think.
And I also love G2s, but the reason why I prefer the 2s over the G2 is, and I go out of my way to go find them because they are difficult to find, is because I find that the G2, well, yes, you can get the broad ones. I prefer the thinnest line possible. I know Alavi is the opposite. He likes a thicker line pen. But the thicker G2s are just fine. The thinner ones I find are a bit scratchy, the 0.5 millimeter ones. But the 2s, if you get the gel ones, I like the fine ones, and they're so smooth to write with. Like, oh my god, so smooth. Yeah. And I love the needle tip ones, and they have needle tip ones. So I got a 12 pack of fine needle tip black tubes, and
it's about as like narrow as you get. It's just very it's just narrow.
It's just the shape of the tip.
Yeah,
honestly. It's just that versus
versus like this
versus like this.
Yeah.
That's the only difference between the needle, but that it still has the same thickness.
Yeah, it's just
which is a relatively thin line because it's the fine one.
Yeah. See, I have 1.0 G2s right now. I think they're a little bit too thick. I might switch back to 0.7, just because I think they're so thick that if I'm like, and sometimes when I'm writing, I can't letters don't come out clearly because of how condensing.
I used to do that with my notes because I like first semester I just kind of pieced together different colored pens, and I had like a 1.0 red G2, and then I had a 0.7 blue one, and then I had. I think I had like a 2 black. So I had 2 fine ones, my black and my blue one, but then whenever I wanted to write in red, I would just everything would be twice as thick.
Yes. And so I think, with all that being said, I think as we wrap up this segment, because we want to get to discussion now because we haven't been down that road in a while.
That horrible road.
I just want to talk about some other applications for writing pen and paper. Because once again, I think it's something where it's nice. It is a separate place of things. So I think letters is very, very old-fashioned. But, after your birthday, anniversary, graduation, sending a thank you card is nice, I think. I think that's a nice gesture to do.
Alavi just wants thank you cards, guys.
I don't actually send thank you cards. Because culturally, it's not a thing in Bangladeshi society, sending thank you cards. It's just not a thing.
Well, the only reason it's a thing here, honestly, is commercialization. Cards kind of piss me off for that reason.
Also, calligraphy is very fun and really cool once you learn it, but you need to have a calligraphy pen because it's hard doing it with a normal fountain pen. But if you can find a calligraphy pen, that's nice. Calligraphy pen. Also, like I mentioned, notes in class, take
You could be the guy with the fountain pen.
And like, here's the thing: for what it's worth, as nice as using a tablet is, a notebook and a pen is just a lot cheaper. Like, the cost of entry is a lot lower.
It's not about taking notes on a tablet. Isn't about cheapness. Like, because it's like if you're there for the experience of writing, like, to be completely honest, I really hate writing on my screen. But I don't hate it enough to want a notebook because the ease of knowing that I can just write some stuff. Like, okay, I can take a PDF of the lecture slides that I get from the professor on Blackboard and then insert a printout of that into OneNote, right? So I have all of the lecture slides just in my OneNote document, and then I can write on top of the lecture slides. Or I can type if I want to, and then that's all there. So if I open up the OneNote app on my phone, they're right there.
That is nice.
That's why I take notes on my computer.
That is the benefit. That's the big benefit. But I enjoyed just being present, and with that being said, let us take a fountain pen of chat and stab it into the artery of debate of a homeless man as we drain his life essence on Discussion Avenue.
Yeet.
That one came off the cuff. But that's the thing, you can like you stick it in there and it feeds back through the feed, and it's a whole thing. It's a thing that apparently can happen, is like you can like create a little faucet. So Alex, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been on this road.
Yes, it has been a while.
As you walk out of the homeless man's pool of blood.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go take a shower now. Well, before I do that, I guess I'll start because you've been on about pen and paper the whole time.
Yes.
We haven't really talked about Discussion Avenue in a hot minute, so I've been here at school for the entire semester. I actually haven't gone home yet, and we're 3 weeks in, which is next to a record for me. Because last semester the longest I ever stayed was 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But now that I don't have a roommate, it's been
hopefully.
I'm not even gonna.
I'm gonna knock.
You better.
The wood is being knocked on.
I'm honestly not even that hopeful though.
We're approaching the end of the swap time.
That's not true. I was talking to Tay about that. It just doesn't close.
Oh.
But yeah, not having a roommate is wonderful. I have just a room to myself, a place to go. It's nice and, well, somewhat quiet in here, although the doors in this building are basically useless.
Yeah, they're surprisingly not noise isolated.
Yeah, like they're really thick, heavy doors, and then they just don't do anything. It's like
my guess is the frames. I think the frames have bumpers on them.
Yeah, they just don't see, and then there's like a wide gap under the bottom.
Yeah.
And the room is very echoey, if you can't tell through this echo filter. I hate you. My ears ringing. But yeah, course load has been quite a thing. But I'm working through it. I feel like I'm handling it pretty well. And it's all sorts of yee stuff that I'm into, so it's not been a huge deal. But we've got the old Minecraft server going.
Yeah, we have our third Minecraft server, I think.
Third Minecraft server with the gang, and we've been binging it. We even got Bree in on it just yesterday.
Yeah, Michael's girlfriend.
Michael's girlfriend's going to be joining us, if she hasn't already.
She has. I think she built a little house by the river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got everybody in on the Minecraft server, and it is going swell this time.
I think we're aiming to go to the end. We're in 1.15.
Yeah, because we have all the new, like, weird Microsoft stuff that not everybody exactly is exactly happy with.
Yes, we're on Java Edition.
It's there, so it gives us plenty of stuff to do.
We are on Java Edition, if you're curious. I know there are actual differences between Java and Bedrock.
Yeah, so, Java Edition, it's just better. And then you can use CraftBucket and not pay for realms.
Yes.
And you can have whatever
have your own skins.
Yeah.
It's nice. And I think at some point I might record some just for the meme, because at QuickTime I'll just record some and like throw up a shit post on the old YouTube channel, so I can show off my cool and awesome treehouse that everyone likes except for Alex. He doesn't like my treehouse. I built a treehouse.
It's an eyesore.
It's because it's right within his skyline.
Like, right, we got a flower forest. The flower forest is the point of the flower forest is to be serene, beautiful. And then what does Alavi do? He's like, hey, where's the tallest mountain in the flower forest? where's the tallest tree on the tallest mountain in the flower forest? Let me build my house on top of that.
So here's the thing. Originally, I just got up in the tree to escape the night, and I just put a bed there, and I was like, you know what?
I feel like that's the story of every Minecraft dream.
Yeah, no. Yeah, basically. So, because I was planning, because basically I'm on a mountain overlooking a valley. And so I was planning on building my house in the valley. But then, I was like, you know what? I haven't built a tree house in a very long time, and this is a nice tree to build it on, and I already have my stuff up here. I'm just going to build a tree house. So I built a tree house. I have floating islands. I'm gonna do a whole floating island thing. I have our nether portal is on one, have a enchanting setup on the other, and then down in the valley I built a large dog house for my 15 dogs that I got today. See, I got a stack of bones from somewhere. I forgot where. I think it was a village. I've been doing a lot of exploring. So I got a stack of bones, and I was like, you know what? How many dogs can I get? The answer is around 15. I think I might have left a couple in the forest and they accidentally sat and they're stuck somewhere in between. But yeah, continue.
Jesus. Well, that's really all I have to say because it's just been just basically Minecraft and schoolwork. That's all I've done. Yeah,
I think I've been on a similar vibe, if I'm being completely honest. I've started waking up early. So all of my classes, generally speaking, my day doesn't normally start until 10:30. On Mondays, it starts a bit later. On Fridays, it starts at 8:30. My thinking was that I could just wake up at 9 on most days, but then on Friday, I would have to crawl out of bed and be miserable. And so I've been waking up around 8. I want to say my alarm goes off at 7:45, and I have my roll around be sad time.
I noticed you didn't get up until almost 8:30 one day.
Yeah, so. that was I stayed up late. And I had trouble sleeping that night. But I've been waking up around 8. I will say, I think it's probably one of the best decisions I've made, especially in regards to my yearly theme, because it's given me time to just kind of have a nice slow morning. I can make a proper breakfast. I have time to make a pour over coffee, which I like pour overs. I enjoy the process of making a pour over. So I can do that in the morning, have a nice cup of coffee, have a good breakfast. I can have some time to either do schoolwork or most of the time I do a bit of guitar practice. It's nice to have that really slow me time that's the start of the day.
Yeah, that's what I did last semester and I suggested it.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I highly recommend it. The initial setup is a little bit tough. I was lucky because I was jet lagged already. And so the jet lag just kind of eased me into it. I think if you're going from waking up a lot later, it can be tough.
Yeah, it probably would be very tough. For me, the only reason I feel like I was able to stick with it is because if I didn't sleep, or if I did try to sleep in later, I would just get woken up by my roommate, and then he would just continue to do really loud activities, literally ironing his f***ing clothes in our room on his bed every morning. And leaving the door open constantly while he just slams the sink on and off and etc.
Just made a very aggressive hand motion.
There was no such thing as just turning the sink on with him. It was either or.
And for various reasons, he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Did he die? Who knows? But no, he did die.
No.
I don't want to take you guys there. That's a bit much. But yeah, so he's gone, and yeah, I don't know. It's been good. I think the whole morning thing has been really nice. I've been loving it. I highly recommend it. Also, it's nice to make a morning to-do list, for the day. So I'm if I have to run errands, here's what I have to buy. Or after class, here's the homework I need to do. Other than that, I've been doing a lot more guitar practice, and I've been enjoying that a lot. I've been working on my scales, working on some math rock type stuff, because that's kind of a direction I want to try learning. It's been mostly schoolwork and Minecraft for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, the time I usually set aside to set up my schedule is when I'm with Adjacent in Memory.
Yes.
I'm just sitting there he's sitting there, the class is looking at him just stone-faced. He's dude, I just solved hunger in Africa.
It's gonna take me a while to get used to you referring to him that way. It's because it's always a different concept. I have to
always to think about
tone. Okay, there it is.
And then I'm just sitting there writing in my notebook, just putting my schedule together.
The one thing I've done also as part of my theme is I've started using an app called Moodpath, which
you got me started on that.
Oh, have you started it?
Yeah,
nice. Good on you. I think it's a really nice.
It said my results were ready yesterday or today, really? My first ones, and it's view your results, they're ready now. So I'm okay, and then I view them and they're all right, your results are we're going to need some more time to work on the results.
I think that's what happened. I think I missed. That happened for me as well. I think since I missed a few.
I haven't missed a single day.
Okay. I don't know, I might just need more time then. It's been like that for me too. But I think in many ways it's a good thing, not only to track it, but just to... So what it is that it's an app that throughout the day will ask you a little probe. Actually, I'll pull it out right now. Where's my phone? I don't have my phone with me. I think it's in the other room. Because I think my evening questions are ready. But it asks you like certain...
Why does it never ask me evening questions? Unless I remember to go do it, it doesn't ask me.
No, I mean, I have my notification set to remind me in the evening. Right. I have it set to ping me in the evening with the evening questions. Might just be how you have the notification set up in the app.
Ah.
But so in my case, like the way it's set up is that it asks you well-worded questions, I think is the best way to put it. Like questions that the idea is meant to help you track your mood, your mental health, how you're feeling, stuff like that. And it's made by like an actual like hospital, I believe, or like a health group from Switzerland. And it's been really nice. I think the good thing is that it just, even besides the whole results thing, because ideally it does give you some results, and the idea is that can pair with psychotherapy if you need it. But for me, it's just nice. It gives me time to stop and think, okay, how do I feel right now? Like, let me take a moment to like step aside and think about, how I'm feeling right now. Like, am I stressed? What's up? Why am I feeling like this? And just take account with myself. And I think it's nice to get me into that mindset a few times a day. So I have it set to ask me morning, midday, and night questions. And so I just kind of answer them. Normally, I do the morning ones in the morning, like as part of my morning routine. And the midday ones will be after my first round of classes, and the evening ones are the evening after I'm kind of winding down. So like I'll do the mood path, I'll do my theme system journal, and then I'll kind of wind in the day. So I've been liking that. I recommend it. And I think mental health track, you don't even need to be in a quote unquote like bad place or whatever mentally to do it. I think it's a good thing to do generally. Because like it's just nice. I think there is stigma, I think especially among men, about
absolutely
about being in touch with your feelings and being able to admit that, oh, I don't feel good right now and that sucks. But I think there's things you can do about it, and I think just tracking it and taking the time to think about it is such a powerful thing. And it can be really helpful for for example, I have a tendency of getting in my own head sometimes. Like I'll get on some train of thought and I'll follow it all the way to its potential end, even if that end is unfeasible.
Absolutely.
And then I'll get all upset about it. Like I'll be like, oh, what if my dog died and then all my friends left me because they thought I was being a drama queen because my dog died. I don't even have a dog, but what if he did die? I end up just going on these random trains and I'm like, okay, why am I even here? How did I end up here? Why am I letting this drag in on me? And so I think it's nice just to think about those kind of things and just be more in touch with that kind of stuff. Because I think it's important. I think mental health is just as, if not as important to physical health, and in many ways there is evidence that they're linked in certain regards. Things like weight gain, appetite, hormonal cycles, things like that can be tied to your mental health as well.
Absolutely, because it's all controlled by your brain.
Yes. And so I think it's good. And I think if you don't do it, even if you're the happiest person in the world, I think it's still worth looking into. At least do mindfulness type stuff. I've also incorporated this into part of theme system, which are there's two parts of it. There's the daily journaling, and then there's the daily check off section where you check off if you've done things today. And for my newest page on it, I've decided to incorporate mindfulness, which is just taking time to take 5 minutes, sit down, take a breath, and just kind of think about, okay, yeah, I'm here, I'm chilling, it's whatever. Just take some time for myself. And so I've had that there. So I think it's just a good thing to try, and I recommend it. I think you should do it. Mental health is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've hit a really odd place on Discussion Avenue. There's a corpse over there.
Yeah, it's the blood is everywhere.
Yeah, bleeding out,
it's still
covered.
It's a broken hydrant.
Yeah, it's bad.
But mental health is important.
Yeah, mental health is important. His life, not so much.
Yeah, he was just too far down the tubes.
Yep.
And on a much lighter note, this reminded me. Recently, we were given a project in one of my labs where we're required to solder, and of course, I've already been into this kind of EE stuff already, and I have a TS100. Look it up if you don't know what it is. Yeah, it's just it's like a Chinese soldering iron that's really nice.
It is very nice.
For its price, because it has, I think it's digital and it's still temperature controlled, but it's also portable, and
it is very nice.
Theoretically, it even advertised this feature on the really shifty product page that I got it from. Mm-hmm. You could just run it off of a car battery.
How?
It's just a standard DC jack, and you give it 12 to 24 volts, at 17 to 65 watts.
And it just works?
And it just works. It just powers up.
I mean,
so like the goal there is so that it just works with generic laptop chargers, which I got one today that says it's UL certified. I really don't believe
housing.
It's
totally UL certified. You don't have to check us out.
My heated stick is not here.
It's hot stick.
Hot stick, you know.
It's a Slim Jim.
But I also got a new tip for it. I got the sort of screwdriver shaped tip, and the screwdriver shaped tip is a godsend if you're doing through-hole soldering. It just makes it so much easier. And the pointy boy that it comes with by default is really like it's good for surface mount stuff, like really tiny stuff that really not a whole lot of people mess with in the first place, and not much else. So definitely get the screwdriver tip if you're going to get into soldering with through hole, and I would recommend CS100.
Having had minimal experience with soldering irons, I got one from a Radio Shack back when those were things. That sounded old then. Kids nowadays won't remember Radio Shack. But many years back, I got one from Radio Shack. It's, plug it directly into the wall, has a switch.
Oh, I have one of those. Mine doesn't even have a switch. It's just it's plugged in or it's not, and it takes hours to heat up. Yep. This thing takes like less than 10 seconds to heat up to 650 degrees.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I will say his is very nice. That's like, I wish I had that, because I was using it for
ever since I've been soldering, I found this thing online under various different brands that sell it for various different prices, and I've just been dreaming of having it, and I finally got it, and I'm so glad that I did.
He has been very happy, although he broke his fan with it earlier.
Yeah, okay, so I have a homemade fume extractor, and I was soldering a PCB, the one that I was talking about for class, and it kind of like got pushed into the fan, and now I have a broken fan blade here, and a fan that cannot hold still.
It just kind of bounces all
Gotta go modify another computer fan to be a fume extractor now.
Housing, we're not doing anything. We're sitting here playing chess. Playing chess.
Playing chess with my hot stick with modified firmware, which is actually a thing. If I plug it in, it shows my name and email address.
It's the most extra thing ever, but it's a very you thing.
But no, also the firmware makes it so much better because there's a lot more settings where you can actually use Fahrenheit, which is like the standard here in America. And you can change a bunch of other settings, like you can make it a left-handed mode, or you can change the level of detail on the screen, and it makes the font not the really, really awful monospace English serif font that looks really bad, that's always on Chinese goods that aren't
talking about.
Like, sold for, but you know what I'm talking about. It gets rid of that garbage and puts an actually good font on the screen.
He's like a child kid in a candy shop.
Get the TS100, get the modified firmware, you will love it.
Yeah, if you're doing electrical engineering stuff.
Yeah, like if you need to solder or something.
If you're like an electrician.
There's another one. There's I think it's the TS80 or TS200 or something. There's another one out there that's like similar, but I think it might be even better. Look up some reviews, do your research as always, but these kind of soldering irons, they're actually not garbage. Like that, I highly recommend it.
See, my introduction to soldering was I was working on a project for a biology class, and I had to make a lamp, and the lamp had like a bunch of different LEDs of different types of wavelengths of light, and I was looking at how that impacts the growth of certain plants. So I had to make the little things. And so what I did was I had a battery pack, and I had the leads out, and I just kind of soldered 5 lines onto one lead and wrapped that thing in electrical tape. Was it safe? Absolutely not.
Well, if it's a DC low voltage,
it was off like a quad double A pack.
Yeah, you're probably fine.
But it's not the best soldering etiquette.
No,
it wasn't even. I didn't even tie them. I just kind of like looped them together.
Yeah,
I don't recommend it. Although I am proud of what I did. I think it was a pretty good job, all things considered. Considering I was just kind of going off the cuff, had no idea what I was doing. That being said, 3 of the bulbs stopped working midway through the project, so I just relied on 2.
Probably because you were like putting LED strip to a battery.
That being said, the Sleepdrunk podcast can be found. No, I rewrote the script for this. That being said, thank you for listening to this episode of Sleepdrunk. Remember that the first... it's not on this one.
Remember that the first... And try to share the show. It helps us grow. It's great. Make sure to send it out on... you can share our posts on Instagram and Twitter. And you can just tell your friends and family and coworkers and...
electrical engineers.
Your
electrician.
You can
your
tell
your
big titty goth chef.
If your name is Google Foods, your meat dealer.
Yeah, make sure to tell your Wagyu guy. And he'll be really proud of Alavi's pronunciation of...
Wagyu A5.
Not Wagyu A5, of pilot Iroshizuku.
Murasaki-Shikibu.
And as always, the Sleepdrunk Podcast can be found on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. So we'll catch you next week.
We will catch you next week.